Dear ladies and gentlemen, hi everyone, I'm Janina Petrovska, LLP Lawyers, and we are going to talk with you about how to open bank accounts for your blockchain projects in Swiss or Liechtenstein bank. Swiss and Liechtenstein banks almost as first in the world started to accept crypto, accepting crypto projects, ICOs, and for now security token offering STOs as their clients. Unfortunately for now it's not that easy to get a bank account open. You have to fulfill certain requirements, you have to go through quite time and money consuming compliance procedure, and we're going to discuss it a little bit in details. So for now, there are around 10 to 15 Swiss and Liechtenstein banks that actually work with blockchain projects. This is already good news. The thing is that most of them prefer to work with projects from Switzerland and Liechtenstein mainly because they understand the regulation, how those countries work, how the entities in those countries work, how they're supervised by Swiss FINMA or Liechtenstein FMA. This is understandable for banks, and that's why they prefer to work with crypto companies from these countries, because from a point of compliance view, crypto anyway, any relation to crypto is considered to be high risk, which means that they have to conduct enhanced compliance procedure and to check everything in details. And of course, it's easier for them to do so with companies from the jurisdictions that they already understand. Banking compliance procedure, just as I told you, they have to work with high risk of crypto and to conduct enhanced due diligence of the client. That's why, depending on the size of the bank, on the volume of work that they have right now with onboarding new clients, might take from a couple of weeks to several months, unfortunately. And part of the due diligence is often once it is already an operating entity, you have conducted ICO in the past, or you're working as an exchange, you would need some technical due diligence, and normally you have to hire someone, a supplier of those services, who would make a technical due diligence to trace the source of money that you are going to bring to the bank. And it's not only time consuming, but it also money consuming, which means, first of all, that Swiss and Liechtenstein banks, they keep over 25% of all wealth, of all assets actually existing in this world, and they require quite high fees compared to a lot of other European banks, for instance. They might require quite high onboarding fees. They might also require that you keep a deposit on the accounts, and this might be a precondition for opening bank accounts for your crypto project. And you have to consider those costs in advance before you start actually the onboarding procedure, to understand how much it's going to cost you. Otherwise, you might be able to look not only for bank accounts, but for using services, for example, of payment systems, which cost less. Of course, they provide a different level of security, but still this might be an option for your project. I'm Janina Petrovska. We discussed pretty much everything about opening bank accounts with Swiss and Liechtenstein banks. It is important just to mention that we also do this. You might find a link to our conditions about opening bank accounts for blockchain, not only blockchain, but also for blockchain projects in Switzerland and Liechtenstein. Janina Petrovska, LLP Lawyers. Thank you a lot.